1800 hours Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. Pakistan and Sri Lanka have pledged to realize the goal of achieving $1 billion bilateral trade and agreed to work towards broadening Pakistan-Sri Lanka Free Trade Agreement. Addressing the Pakistan-Sri Lanka Trade and Investment Conference in Colombo today, the Prime Minister invited the Sri Lankan business community to participate in the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor project. The President has called for removing disparity among different streams of education by ensuring implementation of single national curriculum. In the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, the Indian troops in the fresh act of state terrorism martyred two more Kashmiri youths in Islamabad Anantnag district today. China says it is ready to enhance exchanges with the United States on trade and economic fronts. In the Pakistan Super League, Karachi Kings will take on the Islamabad United in Karachi this evening. And now the news in detail. Pakistan and Sri Lanka have pledged to realize the goal of achieving $1 billion bilateral trade target and to work to broaden and deepen Pakistan-Sri Lanka Free Trade Agreement. In a joint communique issued in Colombo today on the conclusion of Prime Minister Imran Khan's two-day visit to Sri Lanka, the two sides reached broad consensus on ways and means to further strengthen cooperation in diverse fields. The Prime Minister reiterated Pakistan's support for socio-economic development of Sri Lanka in line with the vision of a peaceful neighbourhood. The two sides reviewed the existing extensive engagement between the two countries for the promotion of cultural linkages, human resource development and capacity building in diverse fields. The Pakistan side announced 100 scholarships in the field of medicine, that is MBBS and BDS, for Sri Lankan students. While realizing the existence of great potential of religious tourism of Buddhist archaeological sites with reference to Gandhara civilization, the two sides agreed to enhance cooperation in tourism and sharing expertise in hospitality industry. The Pakistan side announced its initiative of establishing Asian Civilization and Culture Center at the University of Birandania in Kandy. Both sides recognize the importance of enhancing air connectivity to promote people-to-people contact, tourism, trade and culture. They expressed satisfaction over the existing bilateral cooperation in the field of defence and noted that the elevation of staff-level talks to defence dialogue has further provided an opportunity to expand security sector ties. The Prime Minister announced a new $50 million defence credit line facility. Realizing the need to strengthen parliamentary cooperation, Imran Khan and his Sri Lankan counterpart jointly acknowledged the reconstitution of the Sri Lanka-Pakistan Parliamentary Friendship Association. Both the sides reiterated the commitment to the principles and objectives of the SAARC Charter and stressed the need of SAARC member countries to build on convergences for greater good of the people in the region. The two sides reaffirmed the joint commitment to regional peace, security and stability. The Sri Lankan Prime Minister thanked Pakistan for its constant support to safeguard the independence, sovereignty and territorial integrity of his country. During the visit, 5 memoranda of understanding were signed between the two countries. Imran Khan thanked Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapakse for the warm hospitality extended to him and his delegation, and extended an invitation to the President and the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka to visit Pakistan. Earlier addressing the first Pakistan-Sri Lanka Trade and Investment Conference in Colombo, Prime Minister Imran Khan emphasized on improving trade links among the countries of the subcontinent to bring people out of poverty. He said the way forward for the region is to resolve differences and improve trade relationship. He said our difference is only the Kashmir issue, which should be resolved in the light of the United Nations resolutions and only through dialogue. The Prime Minister said Pakistan government has taken a number of steps towards ease of doing business and invited the Sri Lankan business community to participate in the China-Pakistan economic corridor that opens the opportunity for them right up to Central Asia. Pakistan and Sri Lanka have emphasized on making South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation more vibrant to promote regional connectivity. The Foreign Minister Shah Qureshi and his Sri Lankan counterpart Dinesh Gunawardene during a meeting in Colombo today also reiterated firm resolve for mutual cooperation at all international and regional fora. He stressed the need for expanding free trade agreement to enhance bilateral trade between Pakistan and Sri Lanka. Shah Qureshi said enhancing connectivity between Gwadar port and Sri Lankan ports will help provide easy access to business centers of Central Asian states. This is Radio Pakistan. The President, Dr. Arif Alvi, has called for removing disparity among different streams of education in the country by ensuring implementation of single national curriculum. Chairing a meeting in Islamabad today, the President said provision of quality and research-based education is essential for socio-economic development of the country. The meeting was informed that single national curriculum has been designed in consultation with all the federating units and other relevant stakeholders, including private sectors and regional schools. He said the national single curriculum has been developed in accordance with the international standards, keeping in view teachings of the Holy Quran and Sunnah and national aspirations to meet the educational requirements of the country. In the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, the Indian troops in their fresh act of state terrorism martyred 2 more Kashmiri youths in Islamabad Anantnag district today. The troops martyred the youths during a violent cordon search operation in Shri Gufara area of the district. Meanwhile, the occupation authorities suspended internet services in the district to prevent dissemination of information about the brutalities of Indian forces in the area. A veteran journalist associated with leading Indian newspaper The Hindu has expressed grave concern over the propaganda as well as fake news being carried out in certain section of the Indian media under the direct patronage of the Modi government. The group director of the paper, Narsimhan Ram, speaking during a panel discussion on the role of media and large section of the Indian media is functioning as propaganda arm of the Modi government and the Hindu Rashtriya ideology. He said fake news released by the police, including defamatory allegations and toxic information, are attributed to unnamed sources. China says it is ready to enhance exchanges with the United States on trade and economic fronts. The Chinese Commerce Minister Wang Wentao, while addressing a news conference in Beijing today, said he looks forward to working with the American colleagues to focus on cooperation and manage differences. The United States is seeking a return to the United Nations Human Rights Council 3 years after former President Donald Trump's administration's withdrawal from the council. The American Secretary of State Antony Blinken told the council in a video message today that Washington will seek election to the Human Rights Council for 2022 to 2024 term. Cricket. In the 6th match of the Pakistan Super League, Karachi Kings will take on Islamabad United in Karachi this evening. The match will start at 1900 hours Pakistan Standard Time. And finally, the weather. Mainly cold and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country during the next 12 hours. However, cloudy weather is expected in Upper Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Potohar region, Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. Fog is likely to prevail over the plain areas of the Punjab during morning hours. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.